GRAN TURISMO movie directed by Neill Blomkamp confirmed for 2023. What's the best way to follow up an Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland? What about a GRAN TURISMO movie directed by District 9's Neill Blomkamp? IGN understands that Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions are currently working on an adaptation of PlayStation's famous racing series with an eye toward an August 11, 2023 release date. What's more, it's based on a true story. The story features a teenage GRAN TURISMO player who becomes an actual professional race car driver after winning a series of competitions. It appears to be based on the story of Jan Martin Burrow, a British driver who began competing in events such as the F3 European Championship after winning the GT Academy reality show at the tender age of 19. The GRAN TURISMO movie was first reported to be in the very early stages of development back in May, joining adaptations of Horizon and God of War. The new movie follows Uncharted, released in February, which has grossed $400 million globally to become the fourth highest-earning video game adaptation worldwide. The screenplay will be penned by Jason Hall. PlayStation released GRAN TURISMO 7 on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on March 4th, where we praised it as both a celebration of cars and the series itself on the occasion of its 25th anniversary. Ms. Marvel director plays coy on more MCU cameos. Ms. Marvel launched earlier this month, giving fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe a look into a series told by an in-world Avengers fanatic. The first episode explained how much of the world knew of the massive battle during Avengers Endgame, suggesting Paul Rudd's Scott Lang / Ant-Man had been busy on the podcast circuit. While there were plenty of mentions throughout the episode, no other Avengers actually appeared in the flesh. Does that mean that no Avengers will appear in the remaining 5 episodes? After all, Moon Knight went its full first season without truly dipping its toes into the Marvel Cinematic Universe through the use of cameos. Ms. Marvel Helmer Adil El Arbai wouldn't speak to the matter in a new interview. "We will not confirm nor deny the presence of any cameos in the show," the filmmaker said in a Stop with TV line. As far as Ant-Man's podcast goes, Ms. Marvel head writer Bisha K. Ali has said she'd love to make the podcast a reality with Rudd's involvement. "I'm desperate to listen to this podcast and desperate to make it," she said earlier this month. Also, why shouldn't the MCU expand into podcasting? Like fiction podcast. I mean, Paul Rudd, what's up? Let's do it. I'll write it, you just sit in a booth. It'll be a good time. I would love to hear it. And also because, I don't know, it can't be for everyone, but for me, podcasts are my relaxed space. I'm obsessed with podcasts. So yeah, I can see Kamala just sitting around listening to it all the time. I'd love to make it." In the same interview, Ali revealed the podcast was what the writer's room settled on after not being allowed to say an internet streamer was streaming the battle live on the internet. "At one point, early days before we kind of expanded the creative team out, I was like, Kevin, what if there was drones and a live stream of the Battle of Endgame?" And he Bisha, no, the writer said in a recent interview with The Wrap. "I'm there wasn't one Twitch streamer around for the final Battle of Endgame. Are we kidding? I think I lost my mind at that point, try to solve this riddle." So it was really a big iterative journey. And it was something that kind of changed and moved all the way through. And I think it must have been a Sanaa, Amanat, pitch by the end. Or it might even, I actually have no idea where that idea came from. But when we kind of integrated into the script, I think it was perfect. It was characterful. Aquaman 2's Amber Heard debunks recasting rumors. The Blast reached out to Amber Heard for comment, with a spokesperson stating, "The rumor mill continues as it has from day one, inaccurate, insensitive, and slightly insane. The original story is below." A new report indicated that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is currently looking to recast Amber Heard's role as Mera. Just Jared reported. An insider told the outlet, Warner Brothers decided to recast Amber Heard's role after screen testing the movie. They are going to be doing reshoots with Jason Momoa and Nicole Kidman. That's all the information to go along with the report, but there have constantly been rumblings from fans and scoopers that Warner Brothers would look to replace Heard after her public court case with Johnny Depp. The report also stated the role of Mara would be played by this new actress in any future DC Films projects. Following the Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard trial, #BoycottAquaman2 started trending on social media as loyal supporters of Depp urged Warner Brothers to find another actor to play Mara in the DC sequel. WB producer Peter Safran issued a statement indicating the studio is backing Amber Heard in Aquaman 2, despite major fan pressure to have her cut from the film. Earlier this month, Johnny Depp won his court case against Amber Heard after he sued Heard in Virginia for $50 million, stating he was being defamed after Heard wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post where she described herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Heard countersued for $100 million while also claiming she was being defamed. Warner Brothers executive Walter Hamada testified during the court case and discussed how the Aquaman franchise fit into it. They didn't have a lot of chemistry together, Hamada testified regarding actors Jason Momoa and Amber Heard. The reality is it's not uncommon on movies for two leads to not have chemistry, and it's sort of movie magic and editorial, the ability to put performances with the magic of a great score and how you put the pieces together, you can fabricate that chemistry. At the end of the day when you watch the movie, it looks like they have great chemistry. But I just know that through the course of post-production, it took a lot of effort to get there, he continued. Sometimes you just put characters together on the screen and they work. It's like what makes a movie star a movie star. You know it when you see it. The chemistry wasn't there. This one was more difficult because of lack of chemistry between the two. Todd Phillips agreed to direct Joker 2 under one condition. Joker set the box office on fire when it was released in 2019. The surprise blockbuster made over $1 billion globally and set a bold new precedent for R-rated films along the way, via Box Office Mojo. The film also proved that proper live-action adaptations of villains from the DC Comics world of Batman could command just as much reverence as the Caped Crusader himself. The film stars Joaquin Phoenix as aspiring comedian Arthur Fleck, the man who will transform into Joker. As Fleck's mental illness becomes more severe and the world treats him with cruel indifference, he begins to spiral out into a murderous life of crime. Though the film was somewhat controversial at the time of its release, its financial success and strong critical reception pretty much made a sequel a sure thing. Drawing from Martin Scorsese films like Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, director Todd Phillips crafted a gritty, nasty, and often sad depiction of what he called the loss of compassion and the lack of decorum in the world, via Deadline. This vision made Joker a unique and challenging comic book movie, but what would make Phillips return to continue Fleck's descent into madness? While speaking with Deadline in 2019, director Todd Phillips spoke about what he would want from a sequel to Joker. While the writer-director was clear about being open to the idea, he explained that he had a few conditions about returning to that world. Phillips said, "It would have to have a real thematic resonance the way this, first, one did, ultimately being about childhood trauma and the lack of love, and the loss of empathy." In the same interview, Phillips was also vocally appreciative of Joaquin Phoenix's dedication to the titular role, a performance that won the Walk the Line actor the Oscar for Best Actor. Notably, the director said the working relationship between himself and Phoenix was closer than any other he's had before. In fact, Phillips had nothing but praise to offer Phoenix. "Working with him, for me, was the greatest experience I've had in terms of director and actor," Phillips said. "Luckily, it looks like we could soon see this dynamic duo working together again." In June 2022, The Hollywood Reporter confirmed that Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are in talks to appear in a Todd Phillips-written musical sequel titled Joker, Folie à Deux. While Phoenix is set to take on the main role once more, Gaga is reportedly set to portray the third live-action iteration of Harley Quinn, a character played by Margot Robbie in the DC Extended Universe. While further details on the project are scant, the title roughly translates to "A Shared Madness."